Ooh, fresh pavement. Let's do a 0 to 60.
Hello, this is Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com, and today we're doing our shaky cam interior review inside a 2017 Mercedes Benz GLE43. This is with AMG and all the other good stuff. Bi-turbo V6 and 360 some horsepower, and holy cow. So this is what a Mercedes is supposed to be like. This is a fun little crossover to drive. A lot of fun. I can't say fun enough. This is such a great little crossover. Really pretty to look at too. We're going to look at the interior really quick. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time, but there are a few things I definitely want to show you, because if you get your hands on one of these, you're going to want to know a couple of things. So the usual stuff, doors and windows, etc., are over here. Mirrors and whatnot. Mercedes, so the seat adjustments are up here, seat memory there, locks here. Over here's your auto lights. Your headlights. I've been leaving them on auto. You can ask it for parking over here. Fog lamps are right there, so if it's equipped, that button will be there. Manual set for the parking brake is right there. Normally when you put it in park, the park brake will come on its own, but you can manually set it and unset it down there. One note on the auto lights, that includes automatic high beams. That's important because I can honestly say that this is one of the best vehicles I've ever been in when it comes to how the automatic high beams work. They just seem to come on and shut off at exactly the right times. Really well done. Up here you have your washer wipers. So front wipers here, rear wiper here, and then you can see there's paddle shifting in this, NASCAR and whatnot, turn signals, of course. Down here, hidden away, when you're sitting in the driver's seat, you're looking at it like about here, you can just see that dongle. This is one of my beefs with Mercedes, because you kind of have to get used to how this works. But regardless, this is equipped with adaptive cruise. So you set the cruise here, so you can set it by pulling it forward, pulling it down, pushing it back. Just about any motion will set the cruise for that speed. I'm in the habit of pulling it down. Then you can see, if you look at you can see you accel, decelerate, resume and stuff there. And then the adaptive cruise, you set the distance by twisting this. So you can see just by this band, you see that band on the right hand side of it there. That's more or less the distance, and it will change in the screen up there as you do that. Over on this side, you have the shifter. So Mercedes likes these things. Mostly I've seen them in cars. The big GLS did not have this, but pretty straightforward. Drive, reverse, and park. So pretty straightforward on that. Nothing special to know. On your steering wheel, over here you have the stuff that controls that screen there. And over here you have audio and telematics and so forth, as well as voice activation. Right now I have the radio muted using this. Here you can turn it up and down. But voice activation, you really need to know about that, and you need to use it. Because I'll show it to you, the command interface is terrible to use. There's nothing about it that I like. It's horrible. Regardless, let's jump forward to the instrument cluster. So, sorry, I had to shove something away because it's in the way. So here's your speed. You can also have it show you digital speed here, which I've been using a lot this week. Over here you'll have the tachometer, engine heat's down there, fuel is over there, and basic information up here. And then this changes, this little part of the screen right where my finger's covering, that changes according to what you're doing with your trip meter. So you can see I put 305 miles on it. Now you can see I have the speed, and then if I go left and right, you can see that menu comes up, and you can flip through what you want to see as far as stuff. So lots of driver assist and a few other things. I won't get into it right away, but I will talk about self-parking in a minute. Well, semi-assisted parking, I don't know how they put it. Basically, it almost parks itself. And I'll get into that into a second. In 1 second, you have to know this screen in order to do it. Also because the prompts and stuff will pop up there, and if you don't see the prompts and then quickly hit the OK button there, it will not engage the parking. So moving along over here, this is the command interface. It is not a touch screen. It is a good screen though, really clear, easy to see. So let me shift into reverse really quick. You see how clear that camera is? Crystal. One of the best I've seen ever for any sort of parking. Now, when you're driving along at low speeds, it also will, whether you're in reverse or driving forward, the car will detect parking spots, and you'll see those blind spot lights. You see that light right there? Those will indicate whether or not there's a parking space available, and then if there is and you want to park, you can turn on your signal. So you can say, if I want to park on the right, I do the turn signal to the right, and then it will detect the spot. And then up here, you can say, yes, that's the one I want. You hit OK, and then it will guide you through the self-parking process. Really cool system, because it's basically always active. You don't have to push a button to say, I want to park. You just say, hey, I want to park, and you turn on the signal, and it says, well, there's a parallel spot right over there, and bam, you get into it. It works on both sides, so left or right. I did not try it with perpendicular parking. I don't believe it will do it. I may be wrong on that. I'll try to double check and write that out. So that's that interface. There's a lot of stuff you can do in there, but I really hate the controls. So I'm not gonna jump around too much in that screen, because I really don't like the way it works. You use this command knob to do it. This is supposed to be a touch screen. These are some quick buttons. Here's some quick buttons, but it doesn't really tell you what any of the buttons do. So, you know, I can get to the main menu by hitting this or this, which has the same symbol on it, and it takes you to this menu here, and then you can just turn the knob to page through them. But again, I really do not like this system. It's very clunky, almost as bad as Lexus's whatever. Almost as bad as Lexus's system. It's just really tough to get used to using. Here you have some quick buttons. You'll probably use the radio button a lot, Navi button a lot, and then you can jump to telephone functions there, and then there's some redundancy. So you can mute. Here's your telephone down here. This right here goes to vehicle settings up there, so you can quickly change stuff in the settings if you want. Over here you have it's kind of a Mercedes thing. They like having these dial pads. So there you go. You can dial your phone. CD player is right here, and this audio controls, basic controls, jumping back and forth, volume and whatnot. This has bun warmers, seat coolers. It has, you can turn off the traction control manually. Here's your Dukes lights. Here's your engine automatic start stop. And then this you'll want to use when you go through the car wash or something. You quickly hit that, turns off the parking radar and all the other stuff, so that you don't get a bunch of beeping while you're trying to, and the car automatically stopping because a brush is coming over to wash it. And then the passenger side heating and cooling. Down here you have your climate controls. Lots of little buttons, lots of stuff, but actually pretty simple to use. Normally you just put it on auto, and then you turn the dial to set something. So I'll quickly turn it on. You can see I have it set to about 68. And then on this side, it is in dual zone, so you can set it with this, or you can turn that off and have both of them be the same. These are all pretty straightforward, and then you turn it off like that. Pretty cool, really easy to use. Down here, perfect spot to drop your phone. Over here you have a couple of things. So you can see I have the beverage warmer on. You can also have a cooler like that. Over here, if you were in Europe, this would be an ashtray. Since we're in the US, it's just an empty hole. If you have a phone small enough, that is a good spot to drop it though. And then over here, European car has a lighter. So there you go. Here's your coffee drink holder, etc. You can see I have a coffee in there. I won't show you who the mug is because it is a competitor mug. Another important thing right here. If you do go off-road, you can raise the suspension a little bit. It doesn't raise a whole ton, but it does raise it a little bit and give you a little more body clearance. You can go into manual shifting and hill descent and so forth. So kind of useful, but honestly, even for the little bit of light off-road that I did in this, I didn't touch any of these. I did try the hill descent just because, I need to try it. And I did try to measure the how much of a difference this makes, and it's not that much, maybe half an inch. It's not a whole ton. Over here, these are your drive drive modes. So down here's for snow, which gives you, just improves traction and everything else in the snow. Comfort mode is default, so it will usually always be on comfort mode. You can jump into sport, which gives it a little more reaction as far as how you're using the throttle and stuff. Also stiffens the brake pedal a little bit. And it stiffens steering just a little. Over here, Sport Plus, I've been driving in this a lot. This gives you immediate throttle response. It gives you very, very hard braking response. And it changes the engine dynamics a little bit so that you're getting a lot more performance out of the engine, and you start getting like exhaust farting on the downshifts and stuff. It's very, very cool. This car has a beautiful, this crossover, whatever, has a beautiful sound with that. And then over here, you can individually set it however you want. You would do that through this. So, yeah, there's that. And then also whatever drive mode you're in will show right there on the screen. So will available parking spaces, by the way. They'll indicate as arrows on the left and right. So that's the driver's controls. This has a panoramic sunroof and a few other things that you have controls for up above, but they're pretty obvious too. What I wanted to point out is the wood in here. Beautiful wood and leather mix. This is just a really good look, dark wood with a light kind of a saddle brown leather and the black leather on top of that, and plastics to match all of that. Really pretty, very well done. And this is a pretty quiet crossover for the size. Back seat is a good size. Kids and adults fit there pretty well. Plenty of cargo for the size of the vehicle as well. Really, really impressed with this car. I've greatly enjoyed this. So again, this has been Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com in a 2017 Mercedes Benz GLE43 with the AMG package. Just a wonderful, wonderful crossover. Tons of fun to drive. Just a great vehicle. So there you go. I don't think I have anything else to say. So talk to you again soon.